Yes, okay. The babies are excited because I am making salmon for them. Yes, I have some frozen salmon fillets. I will be cutting it up into tiny kitten pieces and they will be eating cooked salmon. Yes, yes, they're excited. They're waiting for me to be finished, but I'm going to spend at least a few minutes going over these next two topics so we have good headway for the days to come. Oh, goodness. So, the quote for this reading, and again, we're talking about Jesus eating the Last Supper. This is also, we talked a little bit about the Last Supper, but now we're going to get a full picture, a full visualization of what was going on, the words that were exchanged during this time. We read Love is Blind last night, so today we're going to read The world is full of fools, and he who would not see it should live alone and smash his mirror. This is from Anonymous, an adaptation from an attribution to Claude Le Petit, 1640 to 1665, in Discours satirique. Yes, 1686. So, an adaptation from 1640 to 1665 from a Discourse of satirique from 1686. So, reading it one more time. The world is full of fools, and he who would not see it should live alone and smash his mirror. Because he can't see the fool, so he has to smash his mirror so he doesn't see himself. Cute, witty, I like it. Yes, so now with that energy, we're going to bring in Jesus eating the Last Supper with his disciples. We are going to go over Matthew chapter 26, 17 through 30, as well as an excerpt from John. Let us begin. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, capitalized, put that in there. I believe Passover is capitalized as well, but let's go ahead and maybe start this. Again, on the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Where do you want us to make preparations for you to go eat the Passover?" He replied, "Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, 'The teacher says, my appointment time is near. I am going to celebrate the Passover with my disciples at your house.'" So the disciples did as Jesus directed them and prepared the Passover. When the evening came, Jesus was reclining at the table with the 12, and while they were eating, he said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." They were very sad, and began to say to him one after the other, "Surely you don't mean me, Lord." I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi just cut out again. I just kind of keep going because it comes back right away. So excuse me if there's an interruption, but "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." They were very sad and began to say to him one after the other, "Surely you don't mean me, Lord." Jesus replied, "The one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man will go, just as it is written about him. But woe to that man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born." Then Judas, the one who would betray him, said, "Surely you don't mean me, Rabbi." Jesus answered, "You have said so." While they were eating, Jesus took the bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat. This is my body." Then he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he had given it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will not drink from this fruit of the vine from now until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." When they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. So this is the excerpt of breaking the bread. This guy is about to just jump right on the keyboard. Loves that. His favorite thing to do. Yes. Anyways, this is the breaking of the bread, right? And then he's also calling out Judas. And he says something pretty harsh. He's like, it would be better if you just you wouldn't have been born. Because Jesus knows the outcome of Judas. And we've talked about this before. It's very controversial, but this was something that I think Jesus had an idea of, God had an idea of, and essentially Judas would withhold the pain that Jesus received during his crucifixion. How it happens, that is a question for God. That is a spiritual transfer that had taken place. So he would actually endure all of Jesus' pain that he received during his crucifixion. And how did that happen? It's because Judas had committed suicide shortly before Jesus' death. So that's how that happened. He passed away and he kind of was absorbed into Jesus' body. A much better punishment than being damned eternally, I would say, but that's something that is not really talked about. It's something that is a revelation that came to me just from reading this several times. So, take it how you will. But something also important that does represent this is the breaking of the bread, because he's giving the bread to everybody. He's saying, take this is my body. So he's essentially allowing the disciples at this time to absorb his body as well. So everybody is taking it, including Judas of Iscariot. So that is kind of how that transfer happens. So it could be argued, everybody who participates in the communion goes also through Jesus' pain, which is interesting and kind of a mind-boggling concept to think about. So, but again, something that I've talked about before. He does the same with the blood of the covenant. He says, everybody drink it. This is my blood. He's like, I will not drink from this fruit of the vine from now until the day when I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. So he's planning on everybody coming together again. So they all sung a hymn and they were in good spirits after that. Nothing really groundbreaking had taken place. The disciples are still in a state of semi-confusion. They just, think he's being esoterical. They just, they really, sometimes they just don't fully understand, what he's trying to say. They're just like, okay, great. They just agree with everything. Excuse me one moment. Maybe say a quick prayer, because that is my 12 o'clock alarm. Give me one moment. Interruption, but it was a good one. This is AF, which is Air Force, stands for Air Force, because he has little white shoes on. Okay, so John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. We're going to delve into exactly the words. Let me just. Okay, this is actually something we've read because I just copied and pasted it, so that's why I didn't remember writing it this morning. But anyways, John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. It was just before the Passover festival, when Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew what the Father... Sorry, give me 1 second. That the Father... Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with a towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, he likes to type his own words. Jesus knew that the Father had put the... After that, he poured water and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with a towel that was wrapped around him. Then he came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you will have no part with me." "Then, Lord," Simon Peter said, "not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. You are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher, Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should also wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." Oh, kitty hair in my nose. Oh my goodness. It's like right on the computer, like this is his landing pad apparently, and where he wants to be. So, anyways, this line always gets me, and it sticks with me. When he's washing the feet, he's like, "You will not understand what I am doing for you, but later you will understand." Where is that? "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." So this is actually something I spoke live in That's something I spoke in real life yesterday. Somebody was, mentioning my past and different things and kind of getting to me, honestly, getting to me. So I just, I told him there's no reason to be, upset or sad about what happened or, things that happened in the past. Because I know that, even though I don't understand why these little minuscule, embarrassing, these things happen. I don't understand why they happened, but I know later I will understand, and later it will be revealed to me about why these bad things had to happen, essentially. So I told him that, and it was just one of those moments where I felt, very godlike, very Jesus-like. I was like, I'm not going to understand it. I don't really understand it, but I know not to be upset about it. And I know not to let it get to me, because I know later down the line, I'm going to look back and my eyes are going to be opened. I'm going to realize why, those things had to take place and how actually important and vital they were to a lot of parts of my life story and other people's life stories. Because it's not, when something happens to you, it doesn't just happen to you. It happens to everyone around you and everyone just involved, right? So, yeah, so that was just a moment, and it's great that we're reading this out today, because I know, that what I was saying, it was an idea from the Bible, and, I'm sure Jesus mentioned it a few other times before this, but this is a good example of where he says this. You will not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. And we talked about the ceremonial washing and stuff like that in the past videos, right? We talked about how it was kind of a dangerous job doing what Jesus had done, and he made a precarious living off of washing of others, right? The baptisms and everything. So, yes. Let's go ahead and continue on to our next topic. This is a bit of a longer one, but seeing as how we get through these so fast, it's also... excuse me one second, I just noticed AF's typing here. Seeing as how we're getting through these so fast, I'm sure it will be due time before we have it done. Then I'm going to cook the salmon. Oh, do you see them? Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can even see them. I'm not looking at the viewfinder. Oh yes, they're making sweet, sweet licks. Oh, so sweet. Alright, I'm going to close this window too, because I'm hearing a lot of cars drive past. I know it probably doesn't bother you, but it bothers me. So, goodbye. Give me a second. Bye.